drone bans, an Italian fine, and retaliation. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by Squarespace. Get online, build your site, promote your brand, and get paid all in one place at squarespace.com/MacVoices. Use the offer code MacVoices for 10% off your first website or domain purchase. MacVoices is supported by MacPaw, the makers of Clean My Mac, your ultimate solution for Mac control and care. Try Clean My Mac for 7 days free, then use the code MacVoices20 for 20% off at cleanmy.com/MacVoices. That's CLNMY.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is MacVoices Live. It is Christmas Eve here on MacVoices. So we have a panel assembled to be a little bit festive, to talk about some of the Apple news and tech news of the day, and a few other things along the way. Let's find out who's here tonight, and then we'll get to it. Taking my screen as I always do, Mr. David Ginsburg is in my top left. David, happy holidays. Good to see you.
Happy holidays to you as well. Glad to be here. It's day 3 of a 2-week vacation, and I'm enjoying it. And I'm ready to do some chatter here.
You are aware, Dave, that I can kick you out of this if I so choose.
Don't be that.
Day 3 of a 2 week. That's ridiculous. I'm not even.
I'm sorry. I should define that day. The day 3, business day 3.
Oh, that helps.
Don't count the weekends.
That helps. Thanks a lot.
And the holidays, of course.
You're not helping, Dave. You're not helping. I'm not even on hour 3 of anything. Eric Bolden is here, and I'm not sure. Is that what is swooping into the water, or I gather to grab a fish, Eric?
So this there's a fish right there. Bald eagle scooped up a fish and is just getting ready to soar off. So I figure it's relaxing. Somebody else is fishing. You can still watch and enjoy it, and you're not, standing in the water. So I was relaxed.
Yeah, that sounds like a very peaceful way. Just let somebody else do the work.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Brian Flanigan-Arthurs is here. Brian, thank you so much for being here. What's going on in your world?
Well, it's Christmas Eve, otherwise known as Festivus. So happy Festivus to everybody. Hopefully nobody has too many airing of grievances today.
Us? Grievances? We'll save that for later. We'll get to it. It seems like black is the color of the night here, which is kind of strange for Christmas Eve. Eric's got black on. Brian's got black on. Marty Jencius has got black on. Marty, it's good to have you.
It's my festive holiday black. And I'd like to start by airing my grievances right now, actually. I spent 3 hours in 2 different grocery stores. And when you go down an aisle, Chuck, there's a coming aisle and there's a going aisle. And if you're one of those people that are coming and you park your cart in the going lane where I'm at, while you turn your back on me and read labels to figure out whether or not you can make this at home or not, I've just about had it. That's my grievance right there.
I can't help you, Marty, because I never read labels. I usually know what I'm going to buy in the grocery store.
Me too.
Yeah, doesn't seem like it's that big a trick.
Yeah. What you do is you take stuff off the aisle when they're not looking and you put it in their cart. And that way they wind up getting to checkout with all this stuff that they didn't know why it wound up in their cart.
Either that or lift it out of their cart so that their recipe is messed up when they come home and have to come back to the grocery store.
Yeah, I just had it. That's my grievance.
Yes. Yeah, this is not good. We're talking about how to sabotage people's holidays. That's not good. Let's see. Oh, Mark Fuccio is next. Mark, good to have you, and you have a very festive, appropriate background.
Hello, everyone. Yes, inspired by your notes on topics for the meeting. So I'm glad to be here, see everybody else, and hopefully I can make it next week, but too early to tell. If not, there's always 2026.
Yep, understood. And thank you, Mark, because just we'll throw in a quick reminder, there will be a Mac Voices Live next week, next Tuesday, which will be New Year's Eve. I think I have that right.
Yep.
So join us then. Webb Bixby is here with just it's kind of a sedate quilt tonight. Webb, are you just trying to calm us all down?
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be Christmas trees, so that's what it's supposed to be. Okay, so because I asked my wife, I said, "You got any Christmas quilts?" And she goes, "No," and then she sent me 4. So I slapped this one up together. If it's not too obvious, I'm about to change it. So
I think maybe it's just I need to enlarge it because now that I know what I'm looking at, I can see the Christmas trees. So it's my fault.
It looks more like triangles to me, but I love my wife.
Yep.
I love my wife.
There you go.
There you go. There. I love my wife. So.
We
Nice.
finally get an appearance by Mrs. Bixby.
That's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah. I've got to call her and talk to her. See if I can get her on.
Honey.
Yeah. Last but not least, Jim Rea has arrived. Jim, good to have you. Glad you made it.
Dave, I think you're a piker. I'm on day 27,384 of my vacation.
Okay.
I'm doing something wrong. That's all there is. That's all there is to it. Okay, so I'll air one more grievance, and I did a little bit pre-show, but holiday drivers are crazy.
No kidding.
I was almost in 3 accidents tonight, and that was before I got out of the parking lot. So, if you haven't now, go invest in a dash cam because you're going to need it out there. It's like gladiatorial combat. It's crazy. So, first one, and I'm going to rearrange things even from the notes that the group saw tonight, because I came across a couple more just as I was getting ready to go. But this just happened today. The U.S. has banned several foreign drone models, allegedly for potentially compromised hardware. And the article I just threw in the chats points to DJI as one of the ones that has been banned. Several of the models of DJI. And I don't even know what to say. I think there's a legitimate concern here, but on the other hand, it does not feel good. Everything I've seen says that the people that rely on drones professionally are very unhappy with this because they really don't have adequate U.S. counterparts or adequate U.S. options, U.S. built options. So I don't know where this is going to go. I feel like there needs to be some kind of weird full disclosure here that I use the DJI Pocket 2 for my CES shows and NAB shows. I seriously doubt that is compromised. I think it's more the drones that are here. And DJI has always been a terrific company with some of their hardware. I'm not sure who might own what DJI hardware here. So this is going to be one to watch. And trying to figure out whether there's this technical or political. Mark?
I'll make it short and sweet. We all remember Carl Sagan, who always used to say, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And at least in the link that you shared just before the meeting on CNN, there's claims but no evidence. So this is an incomplete story.
Yeah, and I would encourage you, if you really are interested in this, go check out some of the others. I picked one, but there are a lot of people out there. Some of them are covering it from a tech standpoint. Some of them are covering it from a political standpoint. Mm-hmm. The truth is somewhere in between or off to the side. So, Dave?
Yeah, I was going to say it is drones because I was following a lot of that today when that was coming out because people were feverishly going to the stores and buying them before you can not be able to buy them anymore. So, but kind of spin it to what Huawei was a Chinese phone. They were attempting to bring that product into the U.S., but of course it's China trying to built, and they banned that, and it's still banned to this day. But I guess DJI has something in it the government thinks that could spy on you. So like Mark said, the article's kind of incomplete. I think many of the stories are out there today. You kind of have to wonder and question it. Just the way the government is right now. I won't get political, but you kind of question that.
Well, I think the one thing that you need to know is that Eric Trump is on the board of an American drone company.
Yeah,
but this isn't banning existing drones. It's saying that the FCC is not going to approve future drones. So, the existing, Mini Pro 4, Mini Pro 5, all that, those already have SEC approval. So that is not being retracted. However, there's another issue that it's been almost impossible to get DJI equipment, and not just drones, but almost anything from DJI, because the Customs Department for about 5-6 months has not been letting DJI equipment through, and they're claiming that DJI uses Uyghur labor. So it's been several months now. If you go to Amazon, it's like, nope, there's no, and not only that, but you can't get service for like DJI. They sell basically like Apple Care for their drones, and people have not been able to get their drone service because DJI can't even get parts in to the country. So that's actually a completely separate issue. The story today is about the FCC, and that's a new thing, but the Customs Department has been blocking, not completely. So, like you can find them on eBay and, there's stuff here and there, but the major importers and DJI themselves have not been able to import anything for months.
Jim, thank you. I was not aware of the embargo or the slave labor issue. So that's going to be really interesting.
Well, that is like not even like there's no official policy. It's just the Customs Department has decided it's in their purview to do this. So it's not like Congress decided that, or it was some law passed or anything. It's just they're just like, yep, we're doing this. And again, I think go back to my point number one. Who benefits? And oh my gosh, President's son is on the board and a major investor of a drone company.
Yeah, I'm just looking on Amazon right now, and I think I'd stumbled across one or two of these before and really hadn't thought about it, except it registered enough that it seemed like these prices were a lot higher for the DJI stuff that is there. And so I don't know whether there's a bit of the economic pressures going on, or whether those are. I sort of attributed it to tariffs when I thought about it earlier. So I don't know.
But I think it's gray market basically. What's on there?
That could easily be too. Let's see. Well, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is saying it's from DJI itself. So I don't know. So
and they may have had stock of that they still had.
Yeah. But just, it's one of those buyer beware things, especially if this is going to become a long-term thing, and especially if you're talking about drones. Marty?
I just, it's hard to figure this one out. I've been spending some time since you put the article up trying to look the political end, to look to the marketing end, to find out who's on the board of the second builder of drones in the U.S., or the first builder, I guess, in the U.S., trying to track down stuff. All I think is this is going to make Christmas for a lot of kids unhappy.
Yeah.
No, I think DJI drones is not a kid's item.
Okay,
I thought they had just,
adults who want to act like kids.
Didn't they just release though a new one though that was small? That was small and supposedly really very, very easy to like one of the little ones that are like that. I thought I remember seeing that.
Yes,
Maybe
they
not.
did, but I have yet to see anyone in the U.S. that has it.
Okay.
And I have a couple of DJI drones, and I subscribe to a bunch of YouTube channels about drones. So this is not, the story didn't just appear today. It's been on the radar for months. And there was this FCC deadline of yesterday, I think. So the FCC was going to make a decision. So that's happened now. And actually, like the story for the last few months has been, oh, well, DJI is going to get put on this list. But now the stories I saw today were, oh, no, every overseas drone manufacturer is put on the list. So supposedly there's not going to. But then the other thing was, I guess I saw one story that said, well, but the FCC ruling says that the Department of Defense or the Department of Homeland Security can designate that a particular drone or class of drones is okay. So they've essentially come up with a get out of jail that, Pete Hegseth and Kristi Noem can do whatever they want and, make up the rules as they go. So if, they get the right incentive, then, oh yeah, we'll let those in.
I have an idea we're going to be talking about this one for a while because it will develop. There's no question about it.
DJI just needs to make a gold drone, and then that'll pass all scrutiny.
Okay. Or no, never mind. No, let it go. Today's Mac Voices is supported by Clean My Mac from MacPaw. A new year deserves a fresh start, so don't wait to do spring cleaning until spring, especially on your Mac. If your system is feeling sluggish, cluttered, or just not as snappy as it could be, Clean My Mac is your ultimate solution for Mac control and care. It's notarized by Apple and meticulously crafted by MacPaw, a trusted Mac OS and iOS developer, so you know it's built the right way. Clean My Mac brings everything together in one sleek, easy-to-use dashboard. With Smart Care, you can clear system cache, development junk, and unnecessary files that block updates and eat up storage. My Clutter helps you spot what's piling up in downloads and quickly removes duplicates that you don't need. And it goes beyond just your Mac. The new Cloud Cleanup scans your iCloud, OneDrive, and Google Drive to find space-wasting files, all locally on your Mac, so your data stays private and secure. Plus, Clean My Mac's Moonlock anti-malware engine keeps digital cookies, the bad kind, from slowing you down, so you can enjoy the good ones. So remember, the wrong cookies slow down your Mac, the right ones sweeten your day. Clean My Mac is your digital cookie cutter for a fresh start. Get tidy today. Try 7 days free and use the code MacVoices20 in all caps for 20% off at cleanmy.com/MacVoices, also in all caps. That's CLNMY.com/MacVoices and the code MacVoices20, both in all caps for 20% off. Thanks to Clean My Mac for supporting Mac Voices. Today's Mac Voices is sponsored by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to get you online quickly and easily with a set of powerful and flexible tools to look professional, grow your brand, and get paid, all in one place. After years of building and running content sites and podcasts, one thing I've learned is that your website has to do more than just look good. It has to work. Squarespace combines cutting-edge design with real business tools, making it the perfect choice for almost any project. Their new Blueprint AI builder can take a few details about what you do and turn it into a polished custom site in minutes. And from there, it's all drag and drop and beautiful design effects to make it truly yours. Another key feature is offering services. Whether you're booking consulting calls, selling media packages, or running virtual events, Squarespace lets you handle scheduling, payments, and even branded invoices right inside your site. No juggling a bunch of separate tools. Squarespace's built-in analytics help you see what's working, where visitors are coming from, and what's actually driving revenue, so you can make smarter decisions instead of guessing. There's a lot more to tell, but if you're ready to build something that looks great and works even better, go to squarespace.com/MacVoices for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code MacVoices to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com/MacVoices for a free trial and the offer code MacVoices for 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thanks to Squarespace for supporting MacVoices. This is the Italian government has fined Apple millions of dollars again for an app privacy violation. The way I'm reading this, if I'm understanding correctly, this makes no sense whatsoever. Apple's appealing, big surprise. But they seem to be saying that it's burdensome for you to give you the option to ask apps not to track you. And part of me says not only is it stupid, and I think they missed the point, but the other part of me says this is just they're almost looking for an excuse to do what so many other countries have done and just try to, get a little cash in under the wire from Apple. And it bothers me a lot on both counts because they seem to be putting the rights of developers to track you above the option for you to have not to be tracked. And that just seems backward, at least to my way of thinking. David first.
Yeah, I'm absolutely appalled with this. I agree with you on this. I cannot believe a country like Italy would just think that they could just sue for get a lawsuit of $116 million for something Apple was so strongly for because of all these app developers are trying to be able to spy on us and be able to look at anything we do and track us. And I was excited when Apple decided to add this as a feature. I think it's a feature, and gives us an educated reason why we can decide, do we want to be tracked or are we not being tracked? But again, you're right. Why? Maybe it's money. It must be money grabbing or just getting attention. I'm not sure. It just seems like all these. I know you love these lawsuits, Chuck, but this one is extremely frivolous, is my opinion.
This one isn't even a lawsuit, David. This is just a fine on quote excessively burdensome privacy rules. What does that even mean?
It makes no sense at all.
Mark?
Yeah, I would say I don't think we really understand what the case is. This is the way it's reported here, so it's going through a language filter and a cultural filter. So I would say that on the face of it, yes, to us, and especially a group like this one, it seems outrageous, but we really don't know what was charged and what the basis of the decision was. And, I say that because for better or for worse, we learned under the past presidential administration, they had certain people thought that, big tech of all sorts and, acquisitions and mergers of all sorts were by their very nature bad and evil, and they were trying to regulate them. And there is a strong regulatory culture and in the EU, and I don't know how much of this is EU regulations versus laws native to Italy, but it just feels to me like there's some sort of a valid case there, and we just don't get full high fidelity reporting of what the actual issues are. So yes, we can think it's outrageous, but I'd suspend judgment until we can actually understand what the nature of the charges were and why the court held as it did.
I'm going to give you that, Mark. Except the only, I guess, defense of my position is that I've read several articles. I just picked the Verge's one here, but everything I've read, implies the same thing or indicates. Now we know how that goes. One quotes the other one, that quotes the other one, that quotes the other one.
Right.
But still, if I'm reading any of them right, assuming they are, at least some of them are independent, it seems like that this is the Italian government saying, no, we don't think that you should have the right to ask the app not to track you. That it's burdensome. It puts a burden on the customer. And I'm really, I don't know. I will wait to see what happens and hope that Apple wins the appeal.
Yeah, because for the record, the article I read, indicated they had to do it twice. Oh my God, you have to click, don't track me, in essence, twice instead of once. But again, that's our view. I'm sure a lot of Italians feel the same way, and I think this is something that's just a funky artifact of their legal system. But again, just pure speculation without even having any ability to find the underlying documents and then have an LLM translate them so that we could get better understanding of what the laws and the issue at hand was.
Yeah. Marty?
Yeah, Italy's being supported by EU recovery funds. Their economy is in a bit of a challenge because they have a really high public debt. About 137% of the GDP is public debt. And so there's pressure for them to find resources, and this is maybe one thing that they can look at to generate resource with.
Is that quoted somewhere, Marty, that you found?
Yep.
Can you share that with us?
Investment Climate Statements, Italy. U.S. Department of State. So,
if you have a link, throw it in the show notes. Or throw it in, and I'll show it. Throw it in the show notes. Eric, you're sitting up there in my corner, quiet. I mean, are any of us overreacting to this, especially me, or does this seem as questionable as? I mean, when did privacy become a burden? I guess is the question.
Yeah, and I really hate tracking. I wouldn't care if they made it ask us 10 times, and if you said yes by accident, checked in, every 6 months to say, did you really mean to do this? Kind of like what they do if you turn on location and then check that periodically it checks in and says, hey, this app still is getting your location. Are you sure you want to continue it or whatever? I just think that's good.
I don't know if you can turn that off, but I'm with you. If I can, I don't want it turned off. I want to be reminded that an app is tracking me.
Yeah.
And, maybe at one point it was okay, or maybe it slipped under my radar, but I kind of like the reminders. So, Brian, I see you shaking your head.
Yeah, I agree. When an app asks you, do you want to be tracked? And you have that as a consumer, you can say yes or no, and if you have that choice, and I don't understand why it's being challenged. And if I was an Italian citizen, I'd be pretty darn upset.
Well, and that's like Marty said, they're in so much financial trouble that they're just looking for ways to pick up money any place they can. So this next one sort of goes along the lines of this. This is the Trump administration threatens retaliation over EU's DMA and DSA enforcement against U.S. tech. And we've talked about this on and off a little bit to different degrees here, but I'm not sure that this isn't a good thing, because it does seem like that Apple, Google, and I'm going to leave Facebook out of that, because I feel like anything that Facebook does, they probably deserve. But I'm not sure Apple and Google do. And so, is this protectionism of some flavor? Maybe. But I do think that at some point, the American tech companies are being raided with fines over things that are and the fines are increasingly unreasonable. And the countries, excuse me, are trying to find ways to pump up the numbers instead of making it penalties within the business that a company does inside their country, that they're starting to look at these companies as global. And so we want, 1%, 2% of your global this or global that. And that just seems crazy. That just seems flat out crazy. Mark?
Mark or Marty? Who'd you say?
Mark, sorry.
Mark.
You.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've had all sorts of stories like this, this past year, and it just seems that the EU, to me personally, it seems like they're looking at Apple and Google as cash boxes, and they just want to go in and make a periodic withdrawal for several hundred millions of dollars. And the issues keep changing, but they smugly say, oh well, this is only read our regulations. This is only for companies that do X, Y, and Z. And if you don't do X, Y, and Z, you don't do it. But they target the regulations so that anonymously it refers to an Apple or a Google. So I'm glad the administration is picking this up. We'll have to see what happens. Because the reality is, where are the European companies that are competing with an Apple or Google? There are none. So it's not like they're protecting their own industry, which might be argued in the case of the suit in Italy, that there may be Italian ad networks and advertisers that are being hurt by Apple's thing. Just like Meta, back then it was called Facebook, got hurt when Apple first introduced app tracking transparency. People voted, and they turned all that stuff off because they don't want to be tracked. Well, I think at the EU, sort of transnational level, they're not protecting any native industries. They're just finding ways to come in and make several hundred millions of dollars of withdrawal from the Google treasury or the Apple treasury.
And what you used the word finding, and I like that because if there were real, honest to God, egregious violations of something here or egregious burdens, then at least I would feel a little bit better about, okay, your country has different values than my country, or you're thinking about it differently. But instead, again, pointing to the Italian fine, it just seems like it's just looking for a reason to cash the check. Webb, you're looking studious. Do you have thoughts?
Well, what did Mother teach me? If you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything.
Since when did that apply here?
Yeah. George Harrison, when he had a solo career after the Beatles, had a song called "Sue Me, Sue You Blues." It was all about the war between John and Paul and the rest of the Beatles and Apple Corps. Italy's, which, by the way, they didn't bother with the court system. They just went to their own regulators and issued a fine. Whereas Trump's going through this whole the court and the EU structure to do it. I mean, it's just silly. It's revenue generation. I'm pretty cynical on this stuff. That's all I got.
Well, cynical from what standpoint, Webb? That
just like I said, this is revenue generation. This isn't right or wrong in my mind. This is trying. I made a statement that on this show several months ago. It's not so much that they have to be right; they just have to be first. Okay. They can catch up and be right or wrong later, but right now they just want to get a headline. In some worlds, we would call this a form of clickbait. But I think this is what Italy's doing. They're just trying to get a name that, we're protecting our people. We're coming after the company that has billions of dollars in retained earnings. So they have the money. Just give it. They did. Love you guys.
Yeah. Hey, I want to ask the chat room. They're being a little bit quiet, and I'd love to get your reactions to this. As far as, do you agree with the panel? Do you disagree? How do you find some of the privacy aspects of the OSs that Apple is putting out burdensome, or are you happy just to let yourself be tracked and not be concerned about it? I really would love to know, because I know that we can get caught a little bit here in the echo chamber, in the privacy echo chamber. Pardon me. And I would like to be informed about what somebody else thinks that is not sitting here commentating on it. Commenting, not commentating. I don't know what that means. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.